Swaggerty was ready to fire to second, a pump fake.
Whoa, what the hell's going on here? Let's take a look at what all happens real quick, and then we'll circle back and I'll add in some commentary.
Royce Lewis down to second, a couple of push-ups on the bag, and the crowd does not like that one. The former #1 overall pick flexing here after the double. Umpire Dylan Wilson. And Wyatt about as heated as we've seen this year, and he gets tossed for the first time. He's really giving it to Wilson. Wallace didn't throw.
All right, so former #1 overall pick Royce Lewis barely misses a home run. All Bradenton knows about this guy is he's a former #1 pick. He's got millions of dollars in the bank. So when they see something like this, they think he's showing them up. If there was a familiarity, as if, in the MLB, where guys kind of seem to know each other better, if this is Joey Votto, let's say, everybody knows, he's just goofing around probably. They know he's a good dude, funny guy, sense of humor. That's Royce Lewis kind of poking fun at himself here, saying, I need to do some more push-ups so I can get this ball over the wall. I don't really blame Bradenton for not taking it that way. They don't know Royce Lewis. They don't know anything about him. So, not a good look. But this, also not a good look. For them to try to play this off that they weren't throwing at Royce Lewis, for their manager to lose his mind over this is ridiculous, okay? Insane.
Dylan Wilson and Wyatt about as heated as we've seen this year, and he gets tossed for the first time. He's really giving it to Wilson. Wallace didn't throw it at Lewis. He threw it behind him. That's how you take care of it without getting ejected. And Wilson was quick to toss him from the game. Wyatt letting him know. And Wilson just kind of walking around. That's not going to deter Wyatt Tarangas. He's following him, giving him one final piece of his mind. And now he's giving it to Ben Fernandez, the field up. You may as well get your money's worth while you're out there in your first ejection of the year, right? You knew that was coming after Lewis did push-ups at second base. It was really a hot dog performance for him, and both Wallace and Tarangas have been tossed from the game. Wally going back and forth with some members of the Fort Myers dugout. Contentious as ever here in the top of the 6th inning, and Marauders are going to have their second pitcher lifted in the middle of an inning. Now Robbie Glendinning talking to Ben Fernandez. I'm not sure what's going on here. Raul Hernandez playing stopper as he's out. Robbie's hot. He's pointing back and forth with Ben Fernandez, and Wallace back out from the dugout. Here comes Tarangas once again. So he went into the dugout and now back out to protect Glendinning. Has Robbie been tossed? I think he has. I think Glendinning's been ejected from this game as well. He's headed back to the dugout. So a trio of ejections for the Marauders.
Just dumb. Tie ball game. Misunderstanding, and you get your pitcher, your manager, and an infielder ejected over this. Just dumb.
On the right field side, Glendinning got tossed. They didn't make quite as big a show of it as they did for Tarangas and Wallace. How about that? So after Lewis did push-ups going into second base on a double in the 5th, Wallace throws behind him on the first pitch. Didn't hit him. He threw it below the waist and behind him. That's how you're supposed to take care of these things. Here's the replay if you're tuned into our MILB.TV feed. Yeah, it was right at the backside. The catcher caught it, which oftentimes is not even possible on that. Personally, I think it was an early and overemphasized call from Dylan Wilson. Wallace tossed, Tarangas tossed, and Robbie Glendinning.
All right, a few things to unpack here. Just because he missed him, who cares? Okay, that was obviously an intentional. They were throwing at him, and the fact that the catcher caught it, which the broadcaster mentions, tells us that he was expecting the ball to be over there. All right, if you're setting up over the plate and calling a fastball, and it's that far off, chances are more often than not the catcher's probably not going to be able to catch it because he's not expecting it to go that wide. Now, these two teams have met a couple times now since this incident. As far as I know, nothing has sparked from those games. If you're interested, they met the next week, and Royce Lewis was 3 for 11 with a double in that 3-game stretch, so he did fine, but nothing too spectacular. They actually just played yesterday. This original incident was May 16th. They just played yesterday, June 29th. And it was a doubleheader. Royce Lewis got 2 hits in one game, and he had a home run in the other game. So, I don't know. Maybe he's been doing more push-ups in between now and then, but I'm not sure. But that had to feel really good for Royce. Hopefully this whole mess is behind both of these teams because, like I said, I think this was a giant misunderstanding.